informally when you was talking to me, you told me that I'm supposed to speak only on the political will to curb corruption. The rest of the issues have been dealt with very eloquently and very intensively by Mr. Tiwari and Mr. Dominic.
That is the hierarchy given by Nikos this morning.
Yeah.
Political will,
Yeah.
then risk assessment, then strategies, short-term victories, long-term.
So before I do that, I must tell you that I wrote a paper, Corruption in India, Can Something Be Done About It, for Delhi Law School University. It was published there. There was a copy with me I gave to Dr. Pant in the morning. But salient points, I'm not talking about what is corruption, what is definition of corruption, what is causes of corruption, and I'm focusing only on solutions. So I gave 7 solutions. The list is only illustrative, it's not exhaustive. And first one, for record, political commitment. So I have proof. So apart from other things like state funding of elections, capacity building, statutory agencies, and then strengthening of laws, reducing supply and demand for corruption, maximal use of RTI, e-governance, I'm not talking about that. I'm going to talk only and very briefly only about political commitment. Now in Hindi there is a saying, Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. As the king, so the subjects. Now when we talk of political will, we are talking of the ruling class. Who is the ruling class? Olden days used to be Rajas and Maharajas. Now MLAs, MPs, they are the Maharajas and Rajas of the day, because one of the MLAs becomes the chief minister and one of the MPs, regardless of whether he is a member of Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, he becomes the prime minister and then he has his cabinet. So they become the rulers of the day. Now without political will, their commitment to a cause, and here the focus is on corruption, to prevent corruption, to detect corruption, to punish corruption. So unless there is a will to do that, nothing can happen. In India, you have a hierarchy of political class at the top. They are the Brahmins of the day, and then you have higher bureaucracy, like Ms. Tiwari. I was also part of higher bureaucracy at one point of time. And then you have lower bureaucracy and so on and so forth. Frankly, lower bureaucracy has no say in policy making. They only enforce of law. If the boss says you do this, they do that. If the boss says yes, they say yes. If they say no, no, no. That's the state of affairs. Now, higher bureaucracy in British days used to play a very vital role in policy making and policy implementation. Unfortunately, after 60s, they stopped. It stopped. That cadre, that class of people who could say no to anyone, that class is gone. Now mostly, exceptions apart, where only people say yes, yes, yes. Now entire decision making process is with the political class, the new Maharajas. Now how does their will affect our fight against corruption? In 3 ways. First is making of laws. In the morning session, I spoke about deficiencies in the corruption of Prevention of Corruption Act. I also made a few points about Money Laundering Act. I'm not going to repeat those points, but there are 4 illustrations, 4 other laws which I can mention for you where political intervention is called for but has not happened. The first one is the Representation of People Act. This is the core, the heart of the whole matter. There is a Law Commission report, about 15-year-old Law Commission report, which says the Indian system where the adjudication process is so slow, so we should not wait for conviction to debar a fellow from an elective office. So therefore, framing of charge should be good enough to bar a person from contesting for elective office. Now, this has not happened because they don't want to do. Because they do that, half of them who are ruling us will be out of the frame. They'll be out. They'll be somewhere in Madhya Pradesh jungle or somewhere. So therefore, it's not happening. Law is not being amended to bar those people against whom charge is framed. Now, my experience of 43 years, framing of charge is good enough. I'll tell you why. You see, first registration, then investigation by the police is one agency, then framing of charge by the court. Court is a judicial authority.
which applies mind independently of what the investigating agency has done. So the scrutiny is done at two stages, and at two stages, when they are satisfied there's prima facie case against the person, and not an ordinary crime, not a crime of cutting off pocket or something, pickpocketing, but big crimes. And they are designated crimes which have been given by law minister, like murder, rape, kidnapping for ransom, so on and so forth. Now, big crimes, major crimes, if somebody is involved and charge is framed against him, he should be barred from contesting election. This is a recommended law commission, but it's not happening. Second law, I must tell you, and people of India don't know about it. There is chapter 21A in the Code of Criminal Procedure. This chapter was incorporated in the procedure about 15 years back. This is about plea bargaining. In America, you hear of plea bargaining. Actually, they have been practicing it last about 50 years. Even before law was enacted to this effect. Even before the enactment of law, they have been doing it. Now, India, about 15-20 years back, this law was brought in, plea bargaining. I have not seen a single case being settled through plea bargaining. Why? Who is blameworthy? Prosecutor may be slightly blameworthy. Investigator may be slightly blameworthy. The person who has been arraigned the case, he may be slightly blameworthy. The judge who is supposed to settle the matter, he may be slightly blameworthy. But according to me, more blameworthy is the political class. Why? Because this law cannot be enforced unless rules are framed. No public prosecutor or no investigator or no judge is going to take a risk of settling a case unless there are rules, there are guidelines to this effect. There is another area. Third area is about organized crime. I wrote a paper, there was a committee constituted by the Ministry of Home Affairs. I wrote a big paper under me and we submitted a big report. Nothing has happened. Now, organized crime flourishes. At one time, people would link Bombay with organized crime. But now it has come down to even Mufassal areas. Nearer home, you cross the Jamuna, no law prevails there. Ghaziabad, Dadri and all these areas. So, Noida and Greater Noida. Meerut. So therefore, there is a need to, now we thought that somebody who was called Bhisham Pitama or whatever, Sardar Patel in the Ministry of Home Affairs, he would enact this law. But I don't know for what reason he didn't do that. And another example I'll give you, the fourth, according to me, very critical law is anti-terror law. We keep on crying every day that so and so thing is happening here, so and so thing happening there, but there is no anti-terror law in the country. There is none. There was TADA 85, gone. TADA 87, gone. POTA 2002, gone. At the moment, there is no anti-terror law. Question is, if I ask you whether we need anti-terror law or no, I'm sure all those who read and write or think, they'll raise their hand and say, yes, we need a law. There is no anti-terror law in the country because some kind of communal color has been given to it and our political class is keeping away. So I can go on and give you more illustrations where law making has been found to be deficient. Political will is missing. Now I come to the enforcement part of it. You have made a beautiful law, but you are not enforcing it properly. And how do you enforce it wrongly? You don't put proper people at proper places. My theory is, and I say with a degree of exaggeration, when you make an argument, you always dramatize, and there's an element of exaggeration. My ideal in this country is Sridharan, who made metro in Delhi. I say, you give me 2,000 Sridharans in the country. 2,000, not 20,000, not 2 lakhs. 2,000 Sridharans. Sridharan is an idiom, a good person, competent person, honest person. You give them critical positions in a country, including army. India today is stuck at 7 to 8%. Growth rate will be 20%. So therefore, the point I am making is, for enforcement, you need to have, yes, he has given the name of Sheshan, he has given the name of Vinod Rai. Yes, they are, of course, my ideal will always remain Sridharan. Single-handedly, despite all political opposition, he could give metro to the city of Delhi, and now every city is catching up. Even our lowly Jaipur is also catching up and it's also having this metro. You need only 2,000 people in critical positions. and they will give you 20% death rate. Of course, I am exaggerating, but try to catch the spirit of what I am saying. Enforcement, right people at the right place. Third, adjudication. Again, political will is important. Now, you will be finding the statement contradictory. No, it's not contradictory. It's true. Why? Executive or political class has a role in adjudication also. One, in the appointment of public prosecutor. You have a good case. You put a useless prosecutor. He'll destroy the case. I have seen it happening. I can't be illustrative because they are state secrets. I have worked in the organization for 20 years. I know. Good prosecutors were withdrawn to be substituted by idiots so that the case fails. One. Two, our Chief Justice, he was sobbing. I talked about it in the morning. Why? He wants more judges. Who will give more judges? Only the political class will give more judges. If I were the Prime Minister, I'll scrap Manrega. All 40,000 crore rupees would go into criminal justice system. It will take care of corruption, it will take care of money laundering, it will take care of murder, it will take care of organized crime, and so on and so forth. So political will is very important for enforcement, for enactment and proper laws, for enforcement of laws, and for efficient and efficacious adjudication system. I'll not take more time. Thank you very much.
Indeed, very impressive, powerful deliberations by our guests on the dais. Thank you so much, and I would request Mr. Siddiqui to kindly give away mementos to Mr. Dominic Magnum and Mr. P.K. Tiwari.
Thank you all. We have clocked 65 minutes. So I've saved 10 minutes for the next one. Okay? And we'll move over to the next one. 5 minutes. No.
All right, it's very short break, so quickly have we come back in, if not 5 minutes, 7 minutes, possibly. Thank you.